On this episode of Africans in Sports.
So you're the first Nigerian Division I golfer.
Right.
What does that even mean to you?
I have the potential to be an inspiration to a lot of other kids. You know, you could do this at a high level, no matter, where you're from. What Nigeria teaches you really is kind of that fighting spirit. You gotta have that mentality of trying to be a competitor and trying to get better and always staying on your grind and working hard.
What's going on, African sports fans? Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Chris Kosizi Strawn. And yeah, you guessed it. We're in another city with yet another extraordinary African athlete. Our travels around the globe to deliver you the most interesting stories from the great continent of Africa bring us here to the home of Disney World, Orlando, Florida, with the first Nigerian Division I golfer, Toks Pedro. Tokes, what's going on, bro?
Nothing much. How you doing?
I'm well, man. It's a pleasure to meet you, bro.
Pleasure to meet you too.
You're a true inspiration to not only Nigerians, but I feel like black people all over.
Right.
What you're doing is pretty cool, man. You got a new fan in me.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So you're the first Nigerian Division I golfer.
Right.
What does that even mean to you?
Man, it's something that you don't really think about because you're just trying to do your best and achieve your goals. But when I look back on it, it's really cool in perspective to see that no one has ever done this from Nigeria, at an international level. So it's really cool to look back on, and something that I hope to keep breaking new boundaries and new barriers in the future.
Tell me about your relationship with your father.
It's great because he's the one that got me into golf. And I feel like, I started golf at age 9. It was actually funny. I went on a trip to South Africa, family trip to South Africa with my dad, mom, and brothers. And I'd never played golf before that. And my dad has always been an avid golfer. And he was like, yeah, you should come out with me. And I was kind of hesitant, but I was like, all right, whatever, I'll do it. And I went out, I watched him play a few holes. I'm like, this looks interesting. Let me try this. And I remember he gave me his club to hit a shot, and I hit it. By the way, first try I made contact at age 9. And I just remember, and I'm like, first of all, that was cool. Second of all, how could I do this better?
Yeah.
And this is already awesome. So from there on, he got me a set of clubs. I got a coach there while I was in South Africa, and then when I got back to Nigeria, I would practice and play at Ikoyi Club, the course very near me, multiple times a week, and it's like kept growing and playing a lot. My dad was always the one that was I would always compete with. I would always try and beat him back then, and it was a milestone whenever I was able to compete with him or at least challenge him. Now that's easy.
It's light.
But he's really just been a voice in my ear with a lot of things, advice on how I approach obstacles, how to even chase my goals and stay confident and stuff like that. And he's always he's also always holding me to high standards. He expects a lot from me, and I appreciate that because it definitely is something that drives me as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about your mother and what she means to you.
Man, my mother, she's the one that keeps me in check. Whenever I would walk out the door, every single morning before school when I was a kid, I'd always say to her, I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Right? It's it's something that she exactly. It's something she always got me to say, and that's always stuck with me. There's never a time where I feel like I can't achieve something, and even though it seems far-fetched, it's something that I'm always determined to achieve my goals.
So from what I understand, soccer is your first love.
Yeah.
How does it go from soccer
to golf?
Well,
soccer is really big in Nigeria. It's the #1 sport there, mainly in Africa. And my brother actually played college soccer in George Washington University.
Dope.
And he was thinking about playing professionally. He did for a couple of years, but he lives in Nigeria now, does movies and stuff. But Yeah, but soccer was definitely like the thing that, like, it was a cool thing to do, and I got pretty good. You know, everyone says that, oh yeah, I was good, but like, I was actually really good. Like, I was on our senior high school team when I was equivalent to 7th grade, but year 8 in Nigeria. So, you know, that was something I wanted to do like for a long time, but then I got into golf, and then I realized like there's a difference, you know, there's a different challenge with golf and different experience, and you know, it's something I appreciate a little bit more, for sure. Yeah.
Your name Tokes.
Yeah.
That's short for something.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What's the full name actually?
So it's actually interesting. You know, I've always had this conversation with my dad and mom. To them, it doesn't matter, you know, middle name, first name. Technically, my first name is Olufumilola. That's God gave me wealth in Yoruba. But I've always been called Tokumbo or Tokes. Tokumbo is come from abroad, someone who's come from abroad. My full name is Ade Tokumbo. So Ade Tokumbo is the crown has come from abroad. It's been a while since, you know, Yoruba is definitely like a language I used to hear a lot growing up, and you know, that's where my name is from. So Olufumilola Ade Tokumbo Pedro. My last name is also interesting because Pedro is not a Nigerian name. It's a Hispanic name. It's actually Brazilian.
For Peter.
Yeah, for Peter. My great grandfather was Brazilian. I don't know if you want to call it immigrant, but there was a Portuguese settlement in Lagos, and some people got their names through that. So it's complicated, but yeah, Tokes is a short form of Tokumbo or Ade Tokumbo. So yeah.
God has given me wealth, and the crown comes from abroad.
Yes.
How does Tokes today use that in his life?
Man, I appreciate what God has given me because, you know, especially where I come from, a lot of people don't have, you know, the opportunity and don't have the dad or the mom or even the money to sustain themselves, and they gotta, you know, go hustle for themselves and, you know, earn what they have to earn to make a living. And you know, I really appreciate that. Appreciate God for giving me what He's given me in my life. You know, I was born with parents who could support me, and you know, a lot of people don't have that. So I really appreciate that. And the crown has come from abroad is interesting because I've always been someone who's lived in different places. You know, I grew up in Nigeria, I lived in South Carolina, then lived in Rutgers, Jersey, whatever. And but whenever I go back home, it just always feels like this is where I belong.
Yeah,
and you know, I really there's just a different feeling when I'm in Nigeria, and you know, it's something I'm always gonna carry with me. I'm never gonna abandon the fact that I am a Nigerian, and you know, it's something that I really appreciate.
Talk about that feeling, because
Yeah.
I know that feeling when I'm home.
Right.
Can you put that into words?
You can't.
It's hard,
You
I
know,
know.
the only time you can is when you're gone and you're, you know, you're like, man, I missed this.
Yeah,
you know?
for real.
That's the only thing you can say about it. But you know, it's funny, like when I'm in the U.S. for months and stuff, you know, sometimes you forget, you know, how nice it is to be at home sometimes, you know. Obviously I miss my family and everything, but you know, I love it here as well. But when I go back home, I'm just like, I don't want to leave, you know. So, you know, it's definitely, that's something that relates to my name, you know, just being somebody who's not always lived home, but whenever they come home, they really can appreciate it.
What's your favorite part about being home?
Family, probably. Family and friends. I've been away from home since I was 13. I've not lived with my parents since I was 13. So sometimes you can take it for granted, you know, having the people around you that you do, but the fact that I've been gone has helped me really, really not take it for granted and really appreciate my parents, my family, my brothers, my cousins, uncles, whatever, because it's something that, you know, is really dear to you, something that you can't, no one can take it away, you know, so you really have to, you know, really appreciate that, and I definitely do, and that's really the best part of being home, for sure.
Talk about that journey that you've been on since you were
Right.
13 years old.
Wow. I didn't have an idea of what I was getting myself into when I first left. Now that I look back on it, I'm like, man, my parents must have been stressed, like letting me go. Because obviously a lot could go right, but a lot could go wrong too. So and that's a testament to them and my mom and dad, for giving me the right values and raising me correctly. Because I'm glad I stayed on course and never got distracted and continued to better myself. But it's definitely been something that I've gotten used to, being away, and I'm always moving to new places, and I really enjoy that. I think obviously there's value in being settled in one place and having a home, but I think getting to experience different cultures, different worlds, different people is definitely a privilege. You learn a lot, and you definitely makes you a better person and a more well-rounded person. So that's been a really great experience that I've been able to value. Definitely moving around. So
let me ask you, how supportive were your parents with your sporting aspirations growing up?
At first, it was never anything serious. When I played soccer, it's something that every kid does. Like every kid growing up plays soccer in Nigeria, and obviously as a little kid, every little kid also wants to become an athlete. Like everyone wants to become, a professional player, whatever. So I was like, yeah, I want to be the next Ronaldo or the next, this. But obviously, I don't think my parents took it seriously back then. But once I started playing golf and I started to actually achieve something in Nigeria as a junior, and I made it clear to my dad and mom, like, I actually want to do this. I want to do this for a long time. Obviously, there was some questions like, okay, you sure about this? This is going to be what it takes. You're going to have to be really focused and determined, whatever. But one thing they always knew is I had the love for it. And that's the number one most important thing. Because if you don't love it, there's no way you could push yourself.
Gotta have the passion.
You gotta have a passion. And I always did. So they always believed in me, and they always, supported me because they knew that I loved it and have the passion. And, I think they also, trusted what they did for me as parents to put that, battery in my back to be able to pursue my goals.
Was golf the reason you came to America?
Basically, I was planning on coming here for university anyways. But this has been basically the main focus. School obviously was number one when I was in school, but I always knew that golf was what I wanted to do long term. So that was part of the reason why I came so early. I was probably going to go by the time I was 17, 18, but the reason I came at age 13 was golf.
Take me through that process.
It was interesting because when I first moved here, it was South Carolina. It was a golf academy, and in the academy, it was a bunch of different kids from different countries and different backgrounds, and so you got that experience. Plus, you got the island. The island was it's very quiet and. I don't want to say isolated, but it's not a lot of people, but there's a lot of golf courses. And it's on the water, and so, you got a very calm environment mixed with a lot of internationals and different people from different cultures. So it was very interesting starting on, but I got used to it quickly, and I never really had trouble adapting, which I'm lucky for.
So would you say your life changed at all when you came here?
Yeah, 100%.
How?
When I was in Nigeria, you're under the confines of your home. Your parents are always monitoring you. I was actually independent at a young age. Obviously, we had our, what did you call it again? It was like our house, basically the head of the house that would monitor everybody.
Okay.
And house parent. Yeah.
Okay.
We had our house parents, but. In general, you had to make a lot of decisions for yourself, and at a young age, at age 13, that was a challenge. Something I had to develop and grow as an individual, because I'd always been used to having, the luxury of mom and dad to help you with certain things. But when you have to do it on your own, it's a little harder, especially at that age. So it made me grow up a little faster.
I can imagine.
Yeah. 100%.
What would you say has been your biggest challenge since you've been here?
Dealing with loss and defeat, in a sports context, knowing that you're not yet the best. You still have a long way to go. I think just beating yourself in that sense. I saw the clip from Victor.
The battle lies within. And when I say that is that sometimes we think that our battle is with someone else, we think it's external. No, you need to grow in value. You need to grow as a man. You need to grow in certain areas in your life so that you can defeat yourself.
Like you said, that's the biggest challenge, being able to be better than you were yesterday and achieve more and actually, do things that you planned on doing, because that's, having goals is one thing. Actually achieving those goals is the hard part. So I think that's been the biggest challenge for sure.
I'm gonna take it back to South Carolina.
Right.
You broke all types of records while you were there.
Right.
Did you think you would reach that level of success when you first came over?
Man, I didn't at all. I remember when I was 13 and went over there, I was not that good. I was good in Nigeria. I was like one of the best, basically the best junior player there. But when I got here and I realized the level that the best are, I saw how good the best players are. I was, a little behind, and that really pushed me. Like I said, that was one of the biggest challenges, seeing that there's still another level to take it. And when I got here, there was like a lot of players better than me. And I was like, okay, how am I going to get better? How am I going to actually compete and win tournaments? And I went from, this is in golf terms, shooting in the 80s and 90s to shooting in the mid to low 70s within less than a year. And anyone who watches or understands golf knows that dropping 15, 20 shots from your game in a year is extremely hard to do. And that was just a testament to how much I love the game. I'm really competitive in nature, and I really wanted to get better, and I was able to start winning tournaments, in my first year there. So that was a big, boost for me, getting that confidence while I was there.
What did it mean for you to represent Nigeria on the world stage as a young boy fresh from Nigeria?
Man, it's something that, to this day I still think about, golf isn't a big sport in Nigeria, and I have the potential to be an inspiration to a lot of other kids who haven't played golf or who are just starting golf, that you could do this at a high level, no matter where you're from. And now looking back on it, I'm thankful. I got to travel the world. I went to Botswana. I was in San Diego,
China.
Everywhere.
Crazy.
And now I'm in China, doing this again professionally. But I got to see a bunch of stuff and experience a lot, while representing my country. So that's been I've been grateful for that for sure.
You're pretty tied into your Nigerian roots.
Yeah.
How do you apply them to your golf style?
I think what Nigeria teaches you really is kind of that fighting spirit. Like Lagos is a very fast-paced moving city. No one's waiting for you to do anything. You gotta hustle. You gotta get what's yours, and that's something you could definitely apply. You gotta work hard. In Lagos, if you don't, you're gonna get left behind because there's millions of people trying to achieve too. So that's something I could apply to golf. You gotta have that mentality of trying to be a competitor and trying to get better and always staying on your grind and working hard for sure.
You recently graduated from Rutgers. Impressive resume.
Yeah.
What were the keys to your success there?
I think, Rutgers is in New Jersey, and it's kind of like a similar environment to Lagos. It's a fast-paced environment, and it's something, like I said, I took those values that I got from my city, and brought it there where you always got to stay on your grind, got to keep moving. Academically, there's so many smart people. Athletically, there's a lot of competition in that area. And, competitively, I think part of what impacted me so much was my coach, my head coach there, Rob Schutte. Coach Schutte, he'll be mad that I called him Rob. But Coach Schutte,
Coach?
Yeah, hey Coach, what's going on? He was really instrumental in my growth as a person, as a golfer, and I really appreciate him for that. He always, he always believed in me, and that's something I also really appreciate. He was one of the first coaches to, actually recruit me, and from once I started school, he, always believed in my ability, and it's helped my confidence as a golfer right now, because even back then, I'd had my lows and my down moments, and he would always, tell me how good I am. And it's, maybe he didn't realize he was just trying to, help me, but even till now, it's something that is always in the back of my mind.
Right.
So I definitely really appreciate him, and I appreciate all my teammates, and they were always great with me, and I just had an awesome experience in those 4 years that I can never take back.
If you could speak to 13-year-old Tokes before he moves, what advice would you give him?
Whew. Do the same thing.
Same thing, no regrets.
Because even though we could always, everyone always hopes to be in a better situation than they are, and I want to be on the PGA Tour, very soon, and it's not going to be easy, but something I want to do, and I think I'm going to do, I want to be playing the Masters, I want to play those majors and compete at that level, and I always had those goals from when I was 13, even before that, and that's the reason why I'm here right now, because I had those aspirations, I had that vision, and I'm not yet where I want to be, but I'm proud of what I've been able to achieve, and I know I'm going to achieve a lot more.
I know
so I'm excited for that.
What advice do you have to give to young African golfers?
Don't get discouraged. Keep working. Keep staying motivated. You never know when your breakthrough could come. And I think things are going to start changing in the in golf in Africa. I think as more and more African players become more successful, it'll open up more and more opportunities for these African golfers. So, my advice would be to never get discouraged and stay focused, keep working, and don't give up on your dreams.
I know you have a big goal for Nigerian golf.
Yeah.
Speak to that.
I just want to grow the game in Nigeria. I want to, let people. Nigeria is a great land for golf. It's great weather, all types of landscapes and climates, whatever, and they're all conducive to great golf courses. So, eventually, this is a long time from now. I want to be able to build golf courses there, and maybe teach kids or whatever, but definitely want to grow the game over there as well.
It's a must, bro. You have to do it.
For sure.
They're going to look towards you as the leader for this. So I'm rooting for you, man.
Thank you so much.
It's been a true pleasure, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You're a trailblazer for Nigerians, Africans,
so
and black people all over, bro.
Thank you so much.
You got a fan in me.
Appreciate
I'm going to make sure I keep up with you, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
This is Africans in Sports. That's your guy, Toks Pedro.
Yes,
I'm Chris Cosisi Strong. It's cold on this golf course.
It's cold out here.
It's freezing, bro. We out of here, baby.